Greetings, everyone. This is Rock Roll Spot Connection with yet another retro review. This time of the anthology film Trick or Treat. As Trick or Treat is it's a horror anthology movie that, unlike, basically has a different means of telling the various stories than your average tale. Quick takes is that some quick takes. Like, it's a fun, honestly very well done and different take on the horror anthology. So, cast of note. This is kind of you got Dylan Baker as Principal Stephen Wilkins, local school principal, takes Halloween traditions very seriously. Anna Paquin as Lori, a visitor to Warren Valley, Ohio's Halloween festival who, like her sister and their friends, is more than she seems. Brian Cox as Mr. Krieg, Principal Wilkins' neighbor, not overly fond of Halloween. Quinn Lord as Sam, a diminutive trick-or-treater who serves as one of the links between stories. Basically due to his presence, for lack of a better way of putting it. Tomo Pennicott and Leslie Bibb as Henry and Emma, a couple celebrating Halloween. Henry's much more into it than Emma is. Sam Todd is Rhonda, Halloween fanatic, thought to be a savant. Okay. Britt McKillop, Isabel DeLuce, Alberto Gisi, and Jean-Luc Bilodeau as Macy, Sarah, Chip, and Schrager. A group of students in Warren Valley, schoolmates of Rhonda. So, what happens? It really begins with a little PSA about, I think it might actually be an old Halloween PSA, some of the usual Halloween fear mongering that pops up, like, hey, check your candy, and, don't go to unfamiliar places, don't travel alone, so on and so forth. But that transitions then to, the opening, where Henry and Emma are coming home from a night out, and Henry tries to convince Emma to, one, leave the jack-o'-lantern lit, and two, to let him, worry about taking down the decorations the next day. She insists, though, that she knows he won't do it because he'll sleep till noon and play video games till 4, so she decides she'll take them down, meet him. However, while she's doing this, she is attacked by an unseen figure and killed while wrapped up in a sheet. Henry then discovers her later attached to one of the basically she was crucified with a large sucker stuck in her mouth, like this. So, now I mentioned this does anthologies in a different way than normal. Normally, a horror anthology, an anthology in general, you have a framing device of characters sitting around telling stories for whatever reason. To pass the time. We're awake and we're stuck here. We may as well tell stories, that kind of thing. Or it's a campfire. We're out camping, and that's what you do around the campfire: tell scary stories. And so the way these usually go is one story is told, then the next one, then the next one. And they're usually not connected except by the framing device. In the case of Trick or Treat, all the stories, including that part of the opening, are. So, we start off early evening. Lori, her sister, and their friends are picking up costumes and looking for dates. We then transition over to Principal Wilkins, who gets on to a local bully about knocking over jack-o'-lanterns and taking more candy than he should, and eating more candy than he should, and it turns out poisons him as well and kills him. While he's taking care of Principal Wilkins is taking care of Charlie's body, Macy, Sarah, Chip, and Schrader show up, announcing they're gathering jack-o'-lanterns for a scavenger hunt for UNICEF. So, Principal Wilkins says, "No, yeah, have one. Go ahead, take one." And he then proceeds to dispose of Charlie's body, while apparently with a hole in the backyard, which has another body in it as well, and one that's not entirely dead either, I might add. And so, this is also how when we first meet Mr. Krieg, as Mr. Krieg's dog Spite is barking at Wilkins. And Wilkins claims that he's just taking care of a septic tank problem. Then he refills the hole with the bodies and basically definitively kills the other body, and then puts Charlie's body in there with it, and then refills the hole. There's a brief scene of Mr. Krieg shouting for help from Wilkins, which elicits Wilkins to say, "Screw you," and head inside. Now, some backstory setup is that with Warren Valley is it's the town that loves Halloween. They have an annual Halloween festival and parade, and so Lori, her sister, and their friends are there. And Lori's sister and their friends are having no trouble finding dates. However, Lori, who's said is a virgin, the 22-year-old virgin, she's being picky. So, well, her sister and their friends accuse her of being picky and going about everything the wrong way. But she wants her first time to be special, and she says so. Lori's sister and her friends go off to a party, agreeing to let Lori find her own date. Back to Macy, Sarah, Chip, and Schrader. They continue their hunt for pumpkins, and then meet up with Rhonda. Also, we've learned there is a masked killer at the Halloween festival. So the kids, the four, Macy, Sarah, Chip, and Schrader, and Rhonda go to an abandoned rock quarry outside of town, and it's there that a little bit of local history is explained. The Halloween School Bus Massacre. The story goes that 30 years previously, parents of the special education class basically paid off the driver of the short bus to get rid of their kids. The bus crashed into the rock. He chained them to their seats, gave them candy, and then one of them got loose, started the bus back up, and drove it into the quarry. And the kids died. No one heard from the bus driver again. But the whole thing is that they've gathered up 8 jack-o'-lanterns. The idea being that there were 8 kids on the bus, so the jack-o'-lanterns are offerings for their souls. First, Sarah Macy and Schrader take a handful of jack-o'-lanterns down the elevator to the bottom of the rock quarry. Can only safely carry 3 people, and so then Chip and Rhonda go down. And they hear the other 3 screaming. Apparently something's happened. There's something down there, and they're being horrible things are happening, and it's a prank being played on Rhonda. Though Schrader, when it really does scare the crap out of Rhonda, Schrader's like, "Hey, look, cut it out, okay? Let's just get out of here." But it turns out the 8 kids from the bus aren't as at rest as one would think, and their dead bodies come out of the quarry and attack Sarah, Macy, Chip, and Schrader. Rhonda manages to escape, however, and goes on about her night. Meanwhile, Lori leads the masked killer to a party where she, her sister, and her friends are revealed to be werewolves. And the masked killer is revealed to be none other than Principal Wilkins, who is killed and eaten by Lori. And finally, we've got things go back to earlier in the evening, while Wilkins was taking care of the body in a couple bodies in his backyard. Sam got into Mr. Krieg's house, and the two of them, Mr. Krieg being very much anti-Halloween and Sam being very much pro-Halloween, the two fight it out, and but all is forgiven by Sam when a candy bar he is inadvertently given a candy bar by Krieg. And so Sam just goes on about his night. However, as the night goes on, we learn that once upon a time, Mr. Krieg drove a school bus into a rock quarry, and his last 8 school bus passengers pay him a visit on that Halloween night, and that is where the movie ends. So the ups and downs. Honestly, this is one of those. It was not easy to find flaws with it. You have the transition sequences between stories and scenes are really well done, and interestingly done, as I might add. Got some really good makeup effects. Like I mentioned, it's a fun yet different riff on the horror anthology. The stories are well told and shot, acted. Yeah, the casting is really quite good. There's really no one in the casting I could say, yeah, you're really not doing. You shouldn't be here, honey, or buddy, or whatever. that said about the casting, while the casting is good, the characters themselves just feel a bit light. But that's like the one downside I can really find. So overall opinion, so I think it's a well-made horror anthology that's definitely earned its cult classic status. And if you haven't seen it and you're a fan of horror movies, especially ones like Creepshow or Tales from the Dark Side, or you are a fan of the Tales from the Crypt show, then yeah, this right here. If you haven't seen it, you need to. Rating wise, I gotta give it a 4 out of 5. It's damn solid. It's a damn good movie. Solid. Yeah. Anyway, that's it for now. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. We'll be back tomorrow with the weekly comic book roundup. This is Rock and Roll Spock's. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off, saying, live long and rock hard.